Hi, cool. I didn't actually do a hello, as in like in the Discord. It's your turn to speak.
Why do seagulls fly over the sea?
All right, now
Does it?
quickly listen to the audio because I'm not listening to it.
You're not listening to the audio?
Yeah, I thought you were doing the audio test.
Oh no, but I will in a few moments here.
Hi, hi. Ba ba ba. Now we get to do the going D&D call out.
All right, hold phone. I'm there. I'm just listening to a person drive really fast in a car.
Ah, ads. Why? I wish I could get rid of them, but I don't know how.
20-second ad.
This is a horrible. Oh my goodness. What has the world gotten to come to?
Disparity.
There are
This isn't
definitely
the
times where I've seen an
to
ad and thought, this ad isn't worth it to watch this video, and I've been chased away.
no. I kind of feel that.
Blah,
I
blah,
think I might be.
blah.
Think I might be quiet. I'm not quite sure,
That would make sense if you were quiet.
but I think we're all quiet just based on the fact that I'm in a call. So I think everyone's quiet.
Cool, let me adjust my microphone. That should get me louder. And then
I think we
you
all
are.
need to be increased.
Hmm?
I think we all need to be increased. All two of us.
All two of us. Increasing my audio is a bit more difficult. I increased you, say some words.
I am here and I'm saying some words because we all live
Congratulations.
together.
Together what?
We all left
Together?
together. Yeah.
Did I do it right? Do I get praise? I feel like
We
I'm
like.
really emoting right now of like trying to project my voice.
Oh,
Hmm?
put me up to a video where it was like your starting screen.
Oh yeah, my starting screen. I remember that. It's super fun.
You know what? I can actually do something to make myself sound more soundy. That
Is it
probably
bringing the
helps.
microphone closer to yourself?
Sorta.
Also, bwop, 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 bwop.
Pop pop pop
You,
pop 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 pop.
just a heads up, you get the head pats today.
All right.
If someone redeems head pats, it's yours.
How?
Somebody, it would be in my chat. They hit the
No, no, not
XP.
how does it work? Like, isn't it like a fixed location? Like,
No, I can move it around.
oh,
Why don't you use some of your points and see? Head pat yourself.
nah, I can't do that. That requires like positivity. Ooh.
You can
Well, if my
always
voice,
use the head parts of harm. No one uses the head pats of harm. Usually people use the head pats of healing.
yeah, but I ain't no sadist or masochist.
I have been bamboozled.
That would require an ist. Oh,
I
we
feel like
left
I was.
ourselves in a beautiful position, didn't we?
I feel like I was gonna look something up, but I don't remember. You're right, that was what I was gonna look up. Cool, cool, we good for Mino.
Wow.
Hi.
Do you want to give
Hi.
us a little bit of a last time?
Well, most of the recap's gonna be taken care of somebody else, but last time we did a recap episode. And we got halfway through the recap episode. Honor was like, yeah, my time in, like, sad desert country was great. Almost died. You know, there's all these plot points. The world might be fake. Langqua. And everyone was like, I see, yes. And then the conversation jumped to somebody else. I don't remember who talked. And then someone was in the middle of the talking, and then we had to go.
We heard a little bit from Tenka as he gave us essentially the business report. Super exciting stuff.
Right, listing all 100 new employees.
Yeah, which is it's a very big and important piece of information. Especially more so if we wanted to be a little bit biased. The fact that we ended up getting people such as Henry Geralt.
Oh yeah, that dude's great. He's a great taxi driver.
We ended up getting someone which I didn't mention last time, but we have Lassie Orias.
Ah, my nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, we're just gonna slowly steal the entire world and then kill everyone else because if they aren't with us, they aren't good enough.
They aren't with us, they're against us.
If they can't pass a job interview, that means their life is not valuable to us.
Corporate.
Oh no.
We learned the presence of Malik Jatar. More specifically, that he was, believe it or not, in he was in Brighton for a little bit and attending a fair, but he ended up going back throughout Honor's time in Nameless Desert Country.
Nameless desert country.
It does have a name, and it is a real name. It's Amentil. More specifically, we were located in Mako, or the city of bordered sands.
Yeah! Hi, Master Falls.
Wow!
Sorry.
The first one today. Ah, the sheep scream. Sheep scream.
Yeah, why else
Greeting.
do you think I screamed?
You'll
Internal
scream.
politics doesn't scare me that much.
I don't know. It could have been Girls Be Like.
Yeah, it could have been girls be like.
Bum,
But
bum,
what do
bum.
they be like? I don't understand.
Bum, bum, bum. Marco. Oh, man.
Ah, why? Okay, yeah, I know what we just talked about, but you have to wait for a minute. If you ask me if I remember the sound, yes, I do remember what the sound of girls be like, but like... Ah...
It's a inspiring button to press.
Yeah, inspiring. Very inspiring. Don't you feel inspired?
Finally, we ended up catching Azori a little bit up to date. That one of our contestants is somebody back from Hurwayne, when she ruled
Right.
as the High Priestess.
Don't worry, Master Vlas, I am just slightly dead. I totally forgot. Right. I was like, oh, someone just name dropped Eshin, and then she was like, Eshin, my friend, and then it was like, how couldn't I have heard it? And I was like, oh shit, I forgot to tell Izori about Eshin. And then we discovered that Izori actually likes us and no longer wants us dead. She's growing a little bit of like trauma bonding with us.
That's the only bonding we know how to do.
And Izori was like, I'm gonna go there and win her over and make sure she's my friend again. And then Honora. And then Tenko was like, I respect you. And she's like, you do? And her heart broke a bit because she all she wants is respect in life.
Yeah, normal stuff.
Normal stuff.
We did also learn lightly that we somehow managed to lose complete tabs on Camus. And Riscard Dreed, the master, or the servant Lancer, and the master of Lancer within the war.
Wait, didn't he team up with somebody?
He did team up with somebody.
That's bad.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the audience learned that Hiroko Moto is inquiring the assistance of Yasu Bizelmuth to help keep Mixika safe.
Right,
A
Yasu's
what?
backstabbing us.
We have a lot of stuff that happened. But let's get into it, shall we? What worries me is that after Baltimore's demise, I have not received any inclination from the Holy Church of this region. No messages, no one to come and check in on how things are going. All connections to the priesthood have but completely vanished. I would not have been so surprised if they did not wish to contact me, as I am not a high-ranking Clothan. But Baltimore, he held in his position a rather important executionary role. That was the work of an executioner, and that just shows how weak their clergy system really is. Zori scoffs.
Oh. Oh.
Yes, that is a problem. If they're not in contact with you, then that means they've either discerned that you are a traitor, or they're putting their resources to scouting elsewhere. If I may add, I can put up double watches to see if I'm able to discern where the church's movements are being held. That might give you, Mr. Kato Makune, a little bit more leverage when it comes to conversing with them. That would be splendid, Iyasu. the two figures nod to each other.
You have a
Kiku,
total normal nod that there has no no in-depth meaning behind it.
no in-depth meaning at all.
No in-depth meaning at all.
Kiku's going to do a little bit of a look just to kind of gauge how people are feeling in this meeting. Most of the people here he knows very well, at least how they function. But morale is something that might be needed. Though we still have a lot on our plate to manage. The missing servants, that's one of them. The missing clergy, another. And even without the introduction of Ormos, there is a problem with the mage hunters still present. No idea when they're going to strike again. We all happen to be mages, but we're not well known. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to try and seek us out. They had an in, and they knew of Honra. Whatever they might have been told still means that they could be an acting threat. Did you learn, when you were down there, anything more about their organization?
She sits back and thinks about it. She really didn't, did she? It was Ormos who was leading them, right?
Ormos gained a leader-esque role, which Honra never really doubted that he could get. But there is a certain irregularity in there.
Did the second in command die too?
Sorry?
Did a second in command die too, or no?
The second in command lady, she was never confirmed dead, but she did get shot.
Okay.
Honestly, just the fact of how quickly he rose, his organization, at least from what Honra would suspect a terrorist organization to be, it's spread all throughout this desert country and who knows where else. Even getting to a role of sector leader quickly, with Ormos having to discard all of his magic in favor, and the fact when he came here he wasn't proficient in firearms. He rose quickly. And Honra wrote that off as, of course he did, he's one of her retainers, or was. But that usually indicates either the organization isn't as big as we perceive it to be, or he did some bad stuff to get there.
He rose far too quickly, that it seems sort of inconsistent. Which either means that the organization is smaller in my mind, or perhaps he did something very heinous in order to get to the position he was in. But apparently it is throughout the desert country, and although Our home wasn't free of different factions of the sorts underneath our noses. I question whether or not Malik Jatar isn't the one sponsoring them.
It would be a good strategy. I'm sure of it. From what we understand of Malik Jatar, they treat him as an incarnation of their god Miargil, an entity that represents the sun and the transition of life and death. If he were to want to reign in control over a mage society which is capable of spreading the most unfettered knowledge, then that would only stand more in his favor to become idolized as the incarnation of their god further. If he is the one who controls those who cast magic, he might be planning to introduce it into the world as a gift that only he possesses.
Did I mention about, like, the whole idea that Zabayashi showed up?
You did not mention you were attacked by a servant.
Oh, wow, that's an important information. I forgot. Something that... Well, I suppose it's not too... No, wait, no. It absolutely supports that idea. Something that supports that is that I saw the servant Zabayashi at some point. And after waking up, after being drugged by Dyer, there was a brief moment that I noticed something inside the room and pretended to leave, casting an illusion to not be seen that I stayed behind. Zabayashi would emerge under the bed and loom over Dyer. At the time, I didn't know her connections, so I tried to scare them away, and it worked. Did it look like he was gonna stab her?
He was
It
looming.
probably just loomed over her.
It very much could have led to that. Any reasonable individual would assume that.
It's possible that he was there to kill her, but from what I've heard from Zabayashi, he wouldn't loom over a target if he didn't... sorry. From what I know about Zabayashi, he doesn't sound like the type to necessarily intimidate their kills like that. Kinda like leaving that as a question, open question.
During the trial by midnight, one of the most notable features was the sadistic and torturous nature of Assassin. It was to put an example for those who had wronged the Trolimba province. I do believe that sadism is a part of Zabayashi's repertoire.
So yeah, that could be like that would be in a horrifying situation. So yeah, I guess the owner has no clue then.
However, that does line up with your intentions to meet with the head, or a head, of this organization. That would prompt Malik Jatar to return to his homeland. A master invading his soil in order to use their servants for a less war purpose. It probably would not take him long to find out that Dyer was in contact with Oramos. This may have been his intention in order to cut off loose ends. Why Zabayashi hesitated, I do agree. It seems fairly strange for such a straightforward mission.
I don't think he could have easily discerned something like that before. While Assassin does seem rather tricksterous, I do believe that Assassin may not be as perceptive as we once assumed him to be. Just the fact that he was able to fall by an illusion from a mage, even as a spirit of heroes. Perhaps kill was not necessarily the goal, but even still. I believe Assassin was sent there in order to extract information before deciding whether or not he wished to execute.
If that were true, that means Dyer still has information. I'm sure she'll tell us in time. Kiku sighs. Izori very much shows disdain for Malik Jatar. She doesn't like the sound of him.
Yeah.
Do we have any word on what has happened to Kakgarat?
Izori questions. Unfortunately, Kakrat hasn't made very many moves. At least large-term ones. Right now, they're headed in the northern section of Brighton. Out of country. I can't say what her intentions are, but she hasn't managed to slip our radar fully.
Zip ties in a garbage can.
Oh, golly. Politics, politics, they are so fun. Oh. Oh golly. Oh golly.
Jacket? I can buy you a jacket.
Hey,
we can sell my house
no,
to
thank you
acquire
for the
a
continual
surplus of
support.
jackets.
There's a lot of jackets. If you think about it, if each sub is a jacket, that's a lot of jackets. I don't need that many jackets, but like, you know what? If it's good, it's good. Future was yesterday, old sheep. I want to do something because like there's some people who have like subscriber tiers for like 12 months of subscribing, and that'd be great. Also, I'll say it out loud. Hi, Tape. Golly gee. Politics. Currently, Justin got pulled away. How are y'all? I'm very... Yeah. Apparently I smile when I feel pain. What's a simulator? Ooh. Is it War Thunder? War Thunder is a war simulator. Oh, like one of those like driving simulators. Neat. I assume it's either airplane or a vehicle that goes vroom vroom vroom. If it's a vehicle that doesn't go vroom vroom vroom, I'm like not sure what that is.
Bicycle Simulator.
Bicycle Simulator, you're right, that's the best game. It's a jet and it goes swoosh.
All you need is to get a fully manufactured cockpit with like a full chair and just set that up, and then you'll become strong enough to become a real fighter pilot. And then
Hi,
they'll give
Fred. Justin gets the head pats today.
Terrifying. Oh my word. It's even more terrifying than our ad break.
Our ad break? Oh my goodness. Join Spotify today. Wait, no,
No, this one's McDonald's.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. I was gonna say NordVPN, but like, McDonald's? Definitely the best one to sponsor us.
Yeah, McDonald's and redefine your sensitive skin. Terrifying.
Did you say McDonald's redefines your sensitive skin? Just want to make sure I heard that right.
Yes.
Cool, yeah, just rub it on your face and sensitive skin is back. Ah, you. I'm too tired for head pats.
There's a lot of staying up really late.
Yeah. I'm so excited though about like Apocrypha. I'm actually super excited for Apocrypha still because it's like, it's that concept of a game is just so fun to me. Oh my golly. I just need to talk to everyone who's going to be playing. Oh! You have head tracking? Oh, that's fun. Huh. Neat. I want full body tracking. That's my goal. And that's why you should buy McDonald's. Only $9.99 plus per day.
$3.50. You can get yourself a small orange juice that's filled with more sugar than the oranges, and a cheese. Buy a cheese.
Fred's asking how you are.
Tired.
Tired, woo! I won't play, okay, D&D's fun though. I can't, I could be missing an arm and I'd be like, let's play D&D.
We finished our ad break. We should move back on schedule. Yeah.
Alright, we'll go back. We're just in the meeting. We're having a strategy meeting. It is politics. I love politics. This is the part of the... What? Okay, I might be obsessed with Foucault, apparently.
The Fate franchise digs into your eyes and rips out your skull.
That's so good, Fred. Oh my goodness. You brought me out of my, like, doom and gloom. You got 6 hours last night? 6 hours of sleep? This is a miracle. Oh my goodness. I think I got 6 hours too.
Yeah, but Fred doesn't sleep, so.
I know. This is why I'm so proud of Fred. Good job. No, that's perfect, Fred. I'm so happy for you. You got 6 hours of sleep. This is great. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's go. I'm on a high right now. As high as I can get right now in my mood.
I can imagine why you would want to fight Catgrass sooner than later. But I do not believe we'll be able to make such accommodations for that. Getting that monastery filth out of the way. That would be a blessing. There was nothing that came from that place that was good. But I do believe that finding where Queen Eshin went, that's my first priority. If you and Kato Makune are able to search for Eshin, I think that would be a good spend of our time. As we discussed, mana is going to become a problem for her rather quickly. And unless she binds with a worthy master, that mana is going to come in terms of execution. The moment she becomes a calamity is the moment it's less of a war and more of a slaughter. I will reach out my resources to see if I can find your friend, Langqua. He must have left traces of where he was going somewhere. Keeping him safe. If you believe it to be a utmost priority, the world's greatest detective may be helpful on our case. In that case, I will double my efforts to try and find any of the war members. No doubt that they've put up bounded fields, or some sort of divination blocking countermeasures. We still do not have line on where Grexian is, or what his servant may be. I would like to identify that servant as quickly as possible. Then we can start putting together countermeasures. Honor. What is it you plan to do?
Don't know, I wasn't expecting that question. Oh god. Honra, being the responsible individual she is, thinks about what she could be doing right now. and how to be responsible, as she knows the one thing she's going to be doing, and that is going to be re-establishing with everyone why they fight and what they are doing it for. However, that's not quite a answer. But I don't believe there is anything for her to be doing currently in the realms of the war itself. So, she will reply, as of this current moment, I don't believe there's anything that needs my immediate attention. So I will most likely be on standby until there's a chance to talk to somebody we need to talk to. But I will be making sure that I will be getting everyone's reasons for fighting. And that is a thing that I wish to ask all of you after the meeting, at least the strategic portion after this. Because, yeah, no, there's not much she can do right now, I don't think, right? Is that the Honra concurs?
At this point, pressing Dyer a little bit to see what she knows other beyond the scenes. Honor doesn't think it's going to be a whole lot. However, touching bases with Brenton or Hyleth is something she's wanted to do. Even just making sure that Haida or Allie, just making sure that they're either safe or still in the loop.
There are many people like Brenton and Hyleth who I feel like I've lost contact with, despite them being employees now. It's important to make sure that we are all on the same page. And that they're still feel like they're needed. And kind of just me bringing those two up, but just like people in general. So she's high priestessing until, you know, something important comes up. Hi, Emperor.
Then it looks like we have our plan in order. If there's anything else that any of us wish to bring up, we'll meet again in the following week.
No one else has anything, so Honra will ask her big game-breaking, you know, just like metagaming question.
Why do we fight?
Sorry, what?
So why do we fight?
Yeah. As I alluded to, we've all been working. We are all working towards the same goal, and I don't believe our reasons need to align. But I want us all to share the reasons why we fight, not our wish for the Grail, but why we are continuing to do what we do. For me, my eyes are set on a place beyond this world. My eyes are set on kind of like, not looking at Dee Dee, but like there's that idea of seeing that ant farm. On keeping sure and maintaining oh golly, how do you describe just like the realm beyond? My end goal is to make sure that whatever world comes out of this will be protected from external forces. We've all heard of them before, and we know what they are. The Holy Hunger Grail Grimes War, although not a threat, proves that there are beings outside our range of influence. And I don't want some sort of phenomenon coming from the outside and destroying what history exists.
There is a truth in Beyond the Stars. It may not look eldritch, it may not be a monster beyond our comprehension, but for Honra, whatever it is cannot bring good. It can bring some good, but having unprotected, uncontested access to not only our history, but everything we represent, could not possibly be safe. Could not possibly be safe.
You were very quiet for those lines, I'm sorry. Oh, I hear nothing, none of it.
You didn't hear any of it?
Not really. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm the worst. You giving me important character dialogue?
Yo, Home Slice, the outer world may not be aliens, but it doesn't really matter, because if they uncontestedly can affect us, that is no good.
Yeah.
Is essentially the punchline. My plan is to devise a world that is sugar sweet. One in which is culled from influence that would take from one's family, friend. A world without strife and meaningless things. I desire that world. Somewhere for us to rest and for new generations to grow up without having to taste the fires of inadequacy. For Tenka, his world, of course, was one of good, while eliminating all evil was never really a part of his plan. It was his hope to diminish or at least provide solace for those who are in pain. He has seen his family burn twice. And no one should ever have to see that. While hardship is still to come, overbearing and excruciatingly cruel hardship, Tenka does not want to see in his perfect world. I plan to protect and to create a world which is safe for my family. For Kiku, his words were very quick. He didn't have a whole lot of explanation to them. But it was true. Those he deemed as his family, he wanted to make sure that his daughter, his sister, his sisters, they grew up and were able to grow old safely. Whether or not that extended to more people could only be speculated, but it would be assumed correctly. Unlike Tenka, who wished the greater good for everyone, it was sure that Kiku would not accept some people into the greater good. My reason is a surely selfish one. For I just wish to see the glory of my king's rule, whatever that may entail. Hiramukune was more twisted than that. There was no guarantee he was going to say exactly what was on his mind. Becoming a better person. Perhaps that was a part of it, but he understood his cruelty and his evil. This was one of the safest things he could have said. For a world perfect to him and a world perfect to Tenka were completely incompatible. In fact, at that point, there would be a height of hypocrisy. But he didn't lie. He did want to see Kiku in charge. He did want to see whatever world Kiku presented, for he believed that that world would still accommodate a use for him. It is my charge to make sure whatever you end up doing with your power, it still abides by the rightful ways of how we intended it. I'm gauging your worth, not only as people, but as royals here. And I will not stand for you to sully the Wayne name if you decide to pursue some sort of stupid goal. Izori was very hard to read. Period.
I have my own interpretation of this.
The extra narrative is from Honor's perspective.
Yeah. Does she have one for Azor, or is it just, it's hard to...
She was hard to read.
Okay, so my interpretation, this might just be biased, but her words itself literally is to ensure we don't go too far and that we stay on a path we don't regret.
To take exactly what she said seriously.
Without the whole Baka I hate you nonsense. Which, that is something we need. We don't want to find that perfect world only to realize we messed up and did something dumb. She's already accidentally piecing together that story of not seven gods, but that idea of so far reflections of what we are wanting in this world.
While it may not be very original, a part of me would like to see what world this is that can abide by all of our wishes, whether it be this one or the next. I promised I would help achieve Honra's dream during my first summoning. I plan to stick by that. While I may have my own corporeal body, no longer a ghost summoned by the Grail, I do still stand by the words that I delivered.
Aww. Aww. Yazoo!
For Yazoo, some of his own desires had been internalized, but they had also been realized. It was sure that he would make sure whatever this world he found would still reflect some of the things he wanted to see. But it was in truth that when he spoke of the same wish which appeared all those years ago. Or a wish that he's been carrying for a while. Most of the people in the room spoke. Our eyes moved to Didi, the lady in purple.
This is definitely an interesting person. I don't think she's ever spoken what she wanted.
A smile painted across her face. But of course now, she stands almost not really there. The chair around her looked more real than she could. She was a pixie of the mind, a fantasy. I just wish to ensure that my final order is fulfilled. The same instruction she was given before leaving the side of her great king Khaldun thousands of years ago. An order which no one truly knows. And it might be that no one will ever know. The only hint Honra had to guide the world in some way. For everyone here who had portrayed a certain part of their personality, Honra, desire of a future, Kiku, safeguarding of that future, Tenka, the future to be good, Keita Makune, the future to be orderly, Izori, the future to be achieved in a way in which does not disregard the past, and Yazu, confirmation that the future will happen. Didi was the only one who seemed that the only thing she would tell us is that she wouldn't tell us. The liar's truth. In full swing. Are you satisfied with that answer? From all of us. If so. Are you satisfied with that answer from all of us? If so, I will be taking my leave now. There's work to be done.
Yes, thank you. That will do for now.
Sound of scraping chairs moves as we exit the small little divining box on the outskirts of the
All right.
recovery building.
If possible, after the meeting. There's 3 things she really wants to do. One is talk to Izori to be like, thanks, Bae. The second thing is be like, Kiku, your daughter, the fuck's happening? And the third is like, hey, Didi, can I see your bugs?
Ambush the High Priestess and Makune. Or the former High Priestess. What we should be
Yeah.
calling her is Izori, the immortal savior of the world and reviver of True Wayne. That one.
Okay, Izori the Mortal and the Reviver.
Izori the immortal, savior of the world and reviver of True Wayne.
I hate how she has my naming convention, except non-ironically.
Sounds like it's great. That
Okay,
does sound...
Izori the Savior, Immortal and Reviver of the True Wayne.
No. Izori the immortal, savior of the world and reviver of True Wayne. Would you believe me if I said I memorized that?
No. No, I wouldn't remember. I wouldn't believe you because I wouldn't want to believe you.
Alright, we'll leave it at that then.
I assume I ambush them before they leave.
It's easy to ambush them while everyone's walking in their own dark respective areas.
I wanted to thank you. Sorry, the immortal savior of the world and reviver of Truane. So, I assume, does she stop? I assume she stops.
She definitely is looking at Honra very intently.
I'll be honest that I don't know what you have done for my brother, but I know you're a woman of your word. So thank you for looking after Kiku.
I simply did what was necessary for that mopey and rather disrespectful king.
Oh. There's a sad smile that plays across her face of like, yeah, he's mopey, but I love him.
He would do much better to show his face more often. Perhaps the reason that no one's inspired by him is because he doesn't know how to be inspired by himself.
That's a very wise insight. Actually, something that she like could see.
Charisma was never a part of being a king. As a king, your actions speak louder than your words. For it's when your actions are the basebone of your words, and you can deliver them in any way you want, and people will be forced to listen. What's even more so is that your brother's charisma isn't even poor. Is marginally above average.
I mean, she's seen him when he's serious.
As for now, I will be planning on shaping him into something of a worthy king, as that is what some of the people here wish to see him achieve. I don't understand what you, Takeda Makune, see in him. But I will suspect.
Sorry, not gonna call that out. I know exactly the situation. Deception? No, I don't want to. I mean, yeah, I'm deceptioning. I can't let, like, I cannot let Keita Makune's freaking perspective on Kiku be shattered. It's such a dangerous game to deceive in front of Izori. I hate it, but I can't let Keita Makune freaking
Makune Gambit. But what you see is potential nonetheless. You cannot deny that King Kiku is a powerful fighter. And while he needs to work on his public appearance, you cannot deny that his ability to keep us all safe, that is an aspiring one. I imagine your brothers worked especially hard for their people. Surely a trait that one wise as you would be able to see in a heartbeat. Potential, nurtured by the hands of those who keep each other close and understand the growth that comes from it. That is the potential that grows into a mighty flower. The strongest and most powerful of individuals. And a guide such as you would be insurmountable to the strength of this flower. We are blessed to have you in our presence.
Yoga actually agrees with that statement. You're not just even that she approves of that statement. She's
Yes,
just trying to hide the fact that she sees the, Kiramukure has a weird thing with Kiku.
Yes, of course, I saw his potential. And I do think that he has the potential to be a very good king, if only guided by someone as powerful and respectable as myself.
I feel like that's underplaying the both of you. You have the potential to make him more than just a good king.
No one will ever stand at the same level as my brother Khaldun. But if he's able to even make a fraction of that kind of power, then I think I would be satisfied with calling him acceptable.
I won't keep the two of you any longer.
yes. It is a little bit of a long trek on this dark night.
Back in Wayne, we used to have different sets of clothing and different weapons we would use depending on whether it was day or night. And that was as Kato, Mikuni, and Izori go off. Izori trailing on this idea that there was a very severe respect between day and night. And so most of your less good aligned items, such as poisons, which they sold a ton of, and daggers and hidden blades and traps and tricks, that was all played at night because they had an entire nightlife. While in the day, they had a respectful and courteous demeanor to be shown against the sun.
I suppose I forgot to share my own selfish desires of why I fight.
They did say that while walking away.
Yeah, no, she says that to herself of that whole thinking about, because one of her, like, she's fighting to, like, make sure that the world is there, but she does have that selfishness of wanting to protect the world, or, like, protect the knowledge and record the information. But then again,
expect everyone to be that thoroughly honest at that meeting, did you?
oh, it's Yazoo. Wayne hug him, aka hold his hands.
Lady
No.
Azori seems to have melded in quite well.
I suppose it's not that big of a surprise, although a relief.
I could imagine anyone would be hesitant after thousands of years of their descendants. Especially when you were charged as with her. She was a very powerful figure in her time. She probably expects the world of everyone around her, along with her own insecurities.
I can't help but to respect her.
There's nothing wrong with respecting her. She's done a lot in her time. And she still, to this day, continues to do even more. Yazoo pulls out a cane. It's not his normal cane. This one just looks like wood. I just wanted to check in with how you were doing over the whole Oramos incident.
Oh. There is definitely like that moment of like her shoulders dropping a bit that she didn't even know that they could drop anymore. Definitely like that moment of leaning on him for support is happening, it feels like. Might not be the classical like hug and like just holding on to him thing just because that's not what Wayne does, but the same kind of idea and feeling behind it as if her feet like just to like have some of her weight be released off of her foot. And then there's a moment of, are you sure you're in the position to hear about that? I don't want to necessarily burden you if things are too troublesome for you.
I wouldn't be coming over here if I was not in such a position. Ha, I lie, of course. I would always be concerned with whatever your welfare would be. I heard loosely from Jacob, but Jacob can be a little zealous in his explanations.
She definitely has like those moments of letting herself fall again. She kind of pulled back a tiny bit just because of that memory with Avier, how she leaned on Avier too much and had that feeling that she might lean too much on Yazoo.
This is where you make the mistake, for Yazoo had pulled out the cane specifically to help support her, even more so.
Oh, I hate it! But that sort of conversation was nice, of like, she always planned to still open up, but it's difficult. And not just due to his death. She's actually feeling things properly, which surprises her. After he tried to kill me the first time and the second time, I noticed that I continued on like everything was fine. That shook me. It felt as if I was broken in some ways. This is the first time I've actually felt these things. Fully away and detached from the situation.
When we are born, our minds are trained alongside our bodies. Your mind has been trained to process most forms of grief differently. Not only grief, process yourself differently. That is because when you are alone, all the times you are alone, when you never had to show any feeling, that was the majority of your life where you had truly felt it. The feeling you felt was pain. Your dreams, you were always alone. And so your body was trained to take being away from the situation and to process that trauma. When you are with people, especially the people you're thinking about, you've been able to open up further. Part of your job as a high priestess, part of the job you regretted, was not committing and connecting with those people that you thought you had. And so, you feel in earnest when presented with them. And when you're not presented with them, you recess into the same procedure which you have built upon. It's not broken, honey. It's trained. I can assure you, as a person, you're not broken. You're just learned differently. If you were broken, well, then you would never have felt to begin with.
Definitely a lot of Kato Makune.
Do you feel like you're lying when you're presented with the hardships of speaking with your friends and family? Does your heart not excite? Do tears not honestly flow from your eyes?
They are honest at the time.
They are always honest.
Oh!
Even now, you mourn Ormos. He's not present. But your grief mind has taken back in control. You have lived well over 25 years of your life experiencing the pain of those visions. And learning how to process them as calculatingly as possible. Your brother. He has had less time. But can you think of an example where he does the same thing?
She can think of several.
And you wouldn't call your brother an emotionless monster, would you? Someone who does not love his daughter, who did not love his wife.
He's far more caring than I am. I'm not saying that I am uncaring.
We all care in different capacities. But that's exactly it. He processes trauma in the same way that you do. Even more proof that you're not broken. You're just related. It's not right to think of yourself as broken. You keep calling yourself broken or different or wrong to what you hope to be. And you'll eventually become it. Or at least a pale imitation of it.
Definitely has that moment of like breathing in and breathing out, just kind of like out of reflex of like my own personal reflex of just centering yourself when like you're calmed down a bit. You're right. Thank you. I know that others' opinions of me don't necessarily reflect it, but your words have helped me find myself again. Within all that judgment and hatred I received.
The only power you can control is yourself. How you respond, how you receive, those are your powers. Tell the story of who you want Honra to be, if you wish to become them. Not who others believe you are. I believe you're strong enough to do that.
It's definitely just like a silence of accepting his words. Not having any words to say, not having any sort of things, she's listening. And it's more of an acceptance, which is very different than her storyteller demeanor. She doesn't necessarily have anything to say, just wishes to listen and be there and hear what he has to say, almost stunned into silence. But not quite stunned. She feels like there's something to say, and then she realizes there's not much to say right now. Other than show that she's accepting his words and learning.
Open up wide. He suddenly has a small cracker with a white paste on it.
Is that some sort of cheese paste?
French
You'll
garlic.
go for the eat.
French garlic brie.
She absolutely goes for like the consumption. She
Good.
Oh yeah, just like the cheese thing. Fucking Yazoo's the greatest. Oh my goodness, Yazoo, stop trying to take your title back from Lingqua. Stop trying to take your bestest boy title from Lingqua again. She definitely probably has like a face of like just enjoying the food.
She is shockingly reminded of Langlois because of, well, French brie. It's kind of in the name. But it's good.
It's quite exquisite. Is that your way of asking me about Lingqua, though?
I hardly know who this Langlois person is. They sound like you made a good friend overseas. But I don't think we should involve them in our affairs, even as the world's greatest detective. Undoubtedly, he's going to have found magic once before. There's probably tons of people out there who have erased his mind time and time again.
To me, he acted as a... Well, I suppose the second person who stood up for me and helped me, like you did. Of course, we are not as close. But as I sat within... She realizing, oh yeah, he wasn't there. As we sat within the confines of Ormos's trap, he spoke words that were sweet. And I feel like he called out Ormos for all the evil he did, yet not in a cruel way, and defend my honor that I did not do the things that Ormos hated me for. Part of me wants him on our side, so I know whether or not we're going too far. If this Grail War, if this everything, if I could have gotten Langlois to agree with us. I suppose I started seeing him as a bastion of righteousness. No, perhaps just good.
Well then, how about this? When we find him, and when we're in the late game, the final stages of the war. There's undoubtedly going to be times where we do not so good things. Why don't we bring him into the fold then? At that point, he is able to see the good, the evil, and the cause. Hopefully then, you can receive your answer. But if he is a bastion of good, you know, already without talking to him, he is going to be in disagreement of some of the things that we have done.
As much as I'm not a evil of this world, I don't believe I'm good. And I'm not above sacrifice. Why did she even want that?
Why does
Like,
she want what? Why does she want what?
to be, like, judged. Like, there is that idea of, like, it... Oh my goodness, it's because she felt like a failure. That she felt like she failed a high priestess, so she started questioning everything. How did she fail? How did all of this happen? I like your proposal, and I agree to it full-heartedly. But I do not intend to listen to his answer. I intend to be as set in my resolve and confident with my decision. I won't look to him for the right answer. But to see if our goals can align with the world he loves so dearly.
I'm sure that if you are able to win over the heart of this Langqua person, then any confidence beyond your very own, well, it won't be shattered, will it?
I mean, he's not the representation of, like, the world and stuff, but that dude, that speech he gave, damn, like, he cares about the world, he cares about the wars and all that stuff.
But when you go into that confrontation, make sure you are as steadfast as you possibly can be. Smart men tend to notice weakness. You should only show it if that is how you truly feel. But of course, and we're getting ahead of ourselves. We still have yet to see if the man has come to Brighton. For the time being, I'll get back to my duties. There's a lot of work. And hopefully, No, no, no. There was one thing that completely slipped my mind that I forgot to mention. Something that, in truth, I'm not entirely supposed to bring to your attention. But it was about our good friend Mixika Hollow.
Kind of with
Seemed
curiosity.
that Lord Moto had been attacked by Lady Canis before her disappearance. And he believes that a unofficial joint alliance between us would be a favorable one.
Well, that would have been excellent news to bring up during the meeting, but doesn't actually care that it wasn't brought up, really.
He wanted it to be private, however.
No, like she seems to understand. I found it concerning that Kata Makune was there. In my mind, each side there is a different faction. Although we ourselves are different factions, we both bring different things to the table. And our loyalties are, although in a similar area, technically different. The fact that Kei Makune felt like he had more importance to be here meant that he felt he had his own agency.
That is rather strange. For normally, Lord Katamakune would be attending under Kiku. Or, in this case, perhaps under Azori. But seeing Azori, Katamakune, and Kiku all present definitely raises ears. For Didi, your servant, is unquestionable that she holds her own agenda. Until now, even Keita Makune's honorance onto Rahili land. He is making plays. I don't know if you remembered me mentioning this. All that time ago. But there's something beyond the evil in that priest. Perhaps he's starting to finally act upon it.
I am not opposed to his presence, but it is something that it's good to be wary over. He should know that his wish does not fully get to be accepted into the new world, but at the same time, the one he's chosen isn't a bad one, and I will honor. Or chosen to speak out loud, but yeah.
Do you believe
Hmm.
Lord Keita Makune would sabotage this endeavor last minute for his own desires?
Did he say, was that a question or a statement?
Do you believe? Was a question.
Only if he loses faith within my brother. Which I suppose the answer might be already showing, since he is not serving underneath my brother at that meeting. I believe his faith is starting to crack. Like Kiku is like him. Although he's holding on to it with dear life and doesn't realize it, I believe that he's starting to suspect that Kiku might not be like him after all. You may have to fabricate his faith and use Kiku in a deception against Keita Mikune. Although dangerous, it can ensure and keep him into line.
The job of a high priestess. No, the job of human resources is an ever-battling struggle. Ever-struggling battle.
But yes.
Yazoo just
Yes.
laughs a little bit.
Hmm?
Yazoo laughs a little bit, like, yeah.
But yes. I'll trust your guidance in how we make that alliance and how close we are.
As of now, everything is going carefully according to plan. Adjustment is always necessary, but I shall adjust for it in the future.
Oh, it's late, right?
It is late, yes.
So it's pretty much bedtime.
It's a time where not many people are going to be around.
Okay, so it's not necessarily time to sleep.
You're having a late night, but not that late, assuming you still go to talk to Dee Dee.
I have one more stop before bed. I wish I could check up on Kiku, but I've entrusted him with Izori. She does, she actually legit wishes to speak with Kiku, but knows that Dee Dee is more important at this point.
Then I shall not keep you any longer. Have a wonderful dream. Have a better tomorrow.
You as well. There was definitely that moment of lingering, that moment of wanting to forsake any sort of duty and responsibility. Not actually wanting that, not wanting to forsake the duty, but wanting to linger in this present moment. It's very like a aromantic romance happening right now. Because it's not like that's the best way to put it, like an aromantic romance where it's not like a romance as in a love as in a relationship love, but a love between a person and another person. I assume Yazu doesn't like Honro like that, and Honro's too not feeling like that. Yazu's married, it's definitely a friendship thing, but that care and that wanting to linger in that human's warmth that eventually is walked away from carefully.
like a winter's breeze. Oh, how it could be spring.
No. Ah, gosh. Oh, that. God. Oh, God, this hits me in the feels. Oh my goodness.
As you make your way inside, the lights dimmed for the night. Oh,
What?
I said, oh.
Oh, because of the head pats?
Yeah, I figure I should have some sort of verbal response.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh,
Ah, warmth and appreciation to y'all. Oh my goodness, take my warmth, take my appreciation. That was just a sweet moment that my heart goes doki doki. Ah, yes, yeah. I'm going full weeb, oh no. Alright, so I'm continuing, I'm ready. Oh.
almost upon will of Dee Dee just responding to Honra's intention. With one step, gracefully, like an image projected against her eyes, she twirls, step, step, and then finally materializes in the 3D plane.
Haven't gotten used to that yet.
It's almost something you can't get used to.
Okay, cool.
And that's solely just because of how outlandishly wrong it seems. It's pretty, has the instance of being against expectation.
She's just gonna this time around. I don't know why. Maybe it's like feeling like that warmth from Yazoo. She's just gonna reach out and just make sure she's physical, not just like an illusion.
Dee Dee's cold porcelain white skin. She's there, but she doesn't feel real. She's like a doll. Or perhaps not a doll. No, it's like a marionette. The only strings being controlled are her own by herself. I sensed that you wanted to have some time with little old Dee Dee. Perhaps you wanted to go on an adventure?
There's a bit of like embarrassment, not like an actual embarrassment, but realizing her intentions were. I actually just wanted to see how the ants are doing. Are we inside the broom closet?
No, but it's not too far away.
Assuming you still have them.
Of course I do. But which ones did you want to look at in particular? Or were you excited to see all of them?
I have my biases towards the black ants that I saw up close. But having peeks and views of the other ones is not a bad thing.
Well, then, on a slightly cold night, it's good we get ourselves all bundled up. Appearing in her hand, the black magic wand of a showman. She twirls, white sparkles form. Instead of Honra's original outfit, which was more businesslike, she takes on the one she wore as a high priestess back in Wayne.
Oh, you and
But-
your metaphors are amazing, Dee Dee. Goddamn, sorry.
But more exquisite. The fabric more flowing. What Honra would call this outfit, should she have to name them, would be Grand High Priestess.
Oh, Dee Dee, what the fuck is that? Oh, you know how to play to my inner feelings. Oh my goodness. Grand High Priestess, heck yeah. Okay. There's that giddiness that Honor feels that, can't help but play a smile across her face. That sort of reveling in power and that feeling. But not in an evil way. And appreciating the whole, you know, super cool design and the metaphorical meanings behind it. A sense of
Drawn.
excitement.
Drawn into the cupboard, what first to Honra seemed both morbidly curious and a little bit dingy, now almost looked as if it was the doorway to another world. The terrariums, there's more of them now. It seems like one faction of ants has completely obliterated the others in a sense of war. You can still see the scorches on the ground, the barricades made to skewer, and some of the corpses laden on display. But of course, even still, the criminalistic humans of their terrarium actually managed to survive, at least some of them. Terrariums have taken on a seasonal cold, where snow that looks like it's even been shrunk itself, despite what being the purpose, begins to fall from a couple of the roofs, crystalline clouds.
Does Honra have her magic automatic writing book?
Can pull it out if she wants.
Absolutely. I think she just like pulls it out and lets it float behind her as she observes. As she can take guesses of what's happened and all that things. So what sort of events have I missed?
You've missed the Great Bridge War. Well, that was an exciting one. We built a portal here, and it linked to here.
There is some
Wow.
excitement as like the notepad is scribbling away, getting jot notes for like a story almost.
The Black Wasps have developed their own form of magic, which involves using their captured enemies as a form of sacrifice. And primitive, but effective. Honra can see some other lights are magical. These black wasps with huge barbed stingers, cufflings around their arms. This warlike society of wasps. Oh, but looking in, there's a couple what Honra would call undesirables. This millipede-looking creature and one of the wasps seem to be engaging in a sort of perhaps parley. But it goes wrong quickly. Very soon, the millipede is attacked, stung to death by the wasps. No, not death, it's paralysis. As they begin to drag it to the altar and almost rally a war cry. One that can be heard many terrariums over in the prison complex. As two humans look to the sky, like a bad omen. They walk and dig some more spikes into the ground. But they aren't the only ones who recognize it. Some very small, almost a butterfly and moth-looking terrarium, ones you didn't look at before. They notice as well. As they start trying to brandish off a gateway, unlit. Clearly going to be lit. Portal.
I suppose that the centipede was an ally to the humans, and perhaps closer than an ally. And the moths, as well, seem to be taking their revenge.
So it would seem, but it's more likely that our dearest yellowback butterflies will make sure that the humans don't make it through the next winter. And one of them is supposed to engage in a joint marriage in order to solidify their proposed alliance. However, the humans, they did not fully come through with it. That one there has taken the name Monarch Queen. Points to a human that looks like they're wearing a butterfly wing cape.
Oh my. Are they the same generation, or was there multiple generations of humans in this?
Oh, this is the same generation.
Okay. But, like,
Although
realistically...
they do look like they have kids.
Oh my god, children in this situation. I mean... Oh my goodness! The moral implications of, like... Yeah, there is that desire to, like, lend aid to the kids as if they are innocent. Because they are, but, like, it's not their decision to be there. But what do I do? Bring them in such a situation as this? Like, there is so many things of, like... seeing that realm of almost divinity of looking down and trying to decide what is the right thing to do. What is the course of actions to take in such a position as this? Because, yeah, she's biased towards the human, she's biased towards the black ants. But that concept of... that's her just looking down and inside. She doesn't want to be the force that comes in and ruins people's lives. She doesn't want to be the force that tears away people from their families and sends them to different worlds.
Oh. I have an idea.
There's definitely that moment of like, oh yeah, your idea is gonna be something fun. Probably traumatizing, but fun in some ways.
With her wand tracing around the outside of this room, in an instant, the walls behind it fade, and the shelves, they're pushed all the way to the back. The room quadrupled in size. And more terrariums that Honra didn't even realize were there.
I could spend lifetimes looking at these stories and following them. Definitely
Nice.
having...
There's multiple lifetimes that expire and re-inspire here. She reaches her hand into one of the terrariums and grabs the monarch queen.
Oh, she actually just grabs the monarch queen. That person, that human? Oh, golly.
It's clear that there's frantic on the outside as she takes her time lifting them up, up, up. And then Dee Dee throws them.
I
In the
was
next
already
instant,
connected to the monarch queen.
in the next instant, they appear in real size. Beside Honra.
Oh, gods. I don't think she's just taken aback by it. There was only two options. That was throw against the wall and splat, or she was gonna grow. Which I hate how, like she was just, like, anticipating one or the other.
Appearing, of course, dingy and ragged, dressed in nothing but insectoid-like armor. Beautiful butterfly wings that now look even more webby and glassy than normal. They are probably in the teenage years.
Shit! It's somebody who wasn't a criminal? Oh my goodness.
Across their face, multiple scars, and at their side, immediately as they draw a blade, a weapon fashioned from carapace. Doesn't look very strong.
Kind of a bit of a... Like, fully understanding, kind of like a, not nervous laughter, but a laughter of like, oh yeah, like, yeah, I totally understand why you're drawing a weapon. I'm sorry, I did not mean you any harm. Please, put away your weapon. She's taller than Honer. Honer's a midget.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
She clicks at Honra a little bit. Outsider. What trickery? What realm is this?
Looks around. It looks like some sort of void space, doesn't it?
It looks like just a bigger room.
Hold on. No, they're teens. That's a teen. That means we haven't been here. That means those people are aging quicker. This is the realm that your most likely parents were once a part of. Beyond what you know as your home.
My parents, they were... This, the outer world?
Indeed. This is the outer world, Monarch Queen.
How do you know my name?
I was told it. Dee Dee's not here, I assume.
She was, but she isn't anymore.
She doesn't... Like, I assume she's looked around and saw the different places.
She sees them, but she doesn't quite understand what they are. She hasn't come to the realization that those are the worlds she knows.
Those are the representations of the worlds you have come from and interacted with. Feel free to take a look. I can't stop you.
Those are the representations. Her eyes quickly dart back and forth, looking for one. She readies her blade.
Oh golly. Dee Dee brought
That
her
means that
here
I can get rid of my enemies before they even know what hit them.
before she does. How do you know that that's the case?
If this is the outer world, then that would mean that by severing the places that I dislike, that have hurt me, that have hurt us all, I have to take that chance before everyone is dead.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there is like that moment of like empathy where Honra, I imagine she sat down at some point. She probably didn't, but she probably walks over and puts a hand on like her shoulder or some sort of compassionate thing.
There is definitely a rejection and moving away of that.
Yeah, that was a bit too soon, but I can play with this. No, stop. This is not some like there was that like morality thing of like, no, this is not some sort of game. This is not some sort of story. I don't need to tell myself it is. I don't need to treat her as one. What do you suppose will happen if you were to swing your sword and the glass would break?
And everyone will die. And my people will be safe.
And suppose some survived and came to this plane and saw what you have done to their home. And do you believe that where you grew up would be safe as well?
Take the chance while I have it. I have to make sure none of them are around to live that long. I have to be thorough.
I
I
am
have to
going
use this
to...
miracle while I have it.
Golly. No, I can't let...
This has been a divine providence. This is the chance I've been given to save my world.
There's a bit of a sigh of Honra of like she's this story she's heard before, and there was that moment of like, yeah, this whole concept of like destroying and all that stuff and all this stuff. Ah, golly, okay. How do you like this concept? Just so I can have the whole grasp on this. This is a person who grew up their life in a atrium, expecting and thinking that was their world, as this is the world above, as You know what? She's just gonna lie. She's gonna protect the atriums with a lie. I ask that you don't swing your sword around. It won't actually do anything here. Deception check! Deception check! As that is not the chance you are given. 23 deception check! I don't know! She totally has the answers! I understand that you've most likely lived your life alone in order to lead your people. But you aren't alone in this room right now. Quote-unquote room, you know.
So then I have to kill you in order to get access to the other worlds.
She looks at her like so bewildered. I mean, I guess there's... No, it makes sense. There's... That is a bewildering logic jump. But no. I simply record. And I haven't even been doing it for long.
Horde. Some sort of... Are you some sort of shaman?
Oh my god. Who knew talking to a primitive civilization would be this exhausting? She's not letting it show.
If you don't speak, Outworlder, I'll take your tongue.
Oh my god, okay. Alright, I shall speak. Let me tell you a story of your forefathers. Those who came to this... who originated from this plane. Giving her false information. You see, beyond this place lies another, a world different and foreign from what you know. I don't know if there's chairs and teacups, but if there's a chair, she's gonna take a seat.
No chairs in here.
Then she will do the walking about, looking at the different atriums. And there are many different factions and different beings that could walk in here and discover that what has been created. People who would be able to tap the glass. She taps the glass probably just as like a show of... I assume she can touch it.
Yeah.
While her back is... no, I'm not going to do that big of a play. Everything is stationary, right?
How so?
I assume everything is stationary, of like, things aren't floating around. All the atriums are still.
They're mounted on... It's not like some magical workshop. It looks very much like you walked into a pet shop.
Okay, it looks like... Okay.
Or a model shop.
How big is this area?
This area itself is about 30 by 30.
Okay, I think that's the right size for a silent image. No, 15-foot cube. Damn it. That's literally not big enough. Yeah, that's about it. Your parents came from the outer worlds. As... Well, perhaps it was your parents' parents. I'm honestly not too sure about the timeline. And they were criminals. People who had committed horrible acts, such as murder, rape, and pillaging. So they were banished. Banished to the world you see now. Kind of motioning towards the atrium she came from.
He moves to it, mesmerized.
This, I don't believe this has been happening long. Has your parents spoken about the outside world? Or perhaps was it your grandparents, or further back?
The outer world is only a legend.
So it's been many generations. Got it, got it, got it.
Only hint to the outer world given by the purple devil. Who told us you are in the sinner's recluse. Never spoke much, but her power. She was able to crush Ezekiel's heart with her hands. And then she turned it into a feast for us to survive the winter. Last winter. Did not taste like anything that I had imagined before. Some of the men, they turned and they tried to recreate this art. It was only the purple devil who could create such food. We lost 1/3 of our people.
Well, that's blaming Dee Dee for something that she had nothing to do with. She was called the Purple Devil because she granted a miracle. That's not fair to Dee Dee. Whatever. I witnessed that moment. At least I believe I do, unless it's happened multiple times. But Dee Dee has noticed you, and I believe she... I mean, she probably finds her interesting. I don't know what she believes. But I'm sure she doesn't dislike you enough. since she gave you this opportunity in her own way.
I do not want anything to do with the Purple Devil. Their eyes curse any they fall upon. I already bear the hatred of 3 clans. Plans to seek to wipe us out.
Yeah, no, Honya just has a knowing smile on her. She connects with this person's, like, pain and the weight they feel.
I can't destroy them. And I'm going to need you to.
Ooh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's so juicy. No, no, no. This is a real person. This is a real person. This is a real person. They might be miniaturized and her entire world might only be that, but that's fine. Oh, Priestess of Honya. No, no, that's silly. That's silly. Okay.
Use your outer world powers. Destroy that world. Do that. I won't have to fight you. If need be, I will cut open your back, and I will wear your skin to make sure the deed is done.
Okay, okay. She's definitely like okay. Realistically, she's no god in this situation. She's can pretend to be a god. She doesn't know if this lady has the strength of a proportionately of her size or if she is actually this size and is able to harm her. But clearly she is in over her head. And has no guidance. She is going to think... Actually... Like, yeah, she is going to attempt to figure out everything that said, her life story. I assume her parents would have died. I assume there would have been some sort of trauma with that. But being able to get those specifics would be nice. I want to help you. I truly do. However, I'm not willing to destroy any atriums. I'm willing to help you, but to shatter the glass that contains these worlds only leaves behind broken glass. And the contents of the world would spill out. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
So then, Outworlder, if you were in my situation, we're destroying a world, even if the contents spilled out, even if everything on it died and there was repercussions, to save your own world, you wouldn't do the same. What would you do?
That same knowing smile. You see, this world is in that precarious situation as we speak, actually. As what I'm doing is that I'm trying to unite as much people as I can. I am being a leader of the I'm taking lead of the world without letting my pride or anger get in my way, while still feeling my emotions. As what I am doing in order to protect my world and if I was in your situation, I would make allies, not threaten those who could help you, not threaten to carve in my skin and wear it as a suit. I would take this opportunity to speak to the person in front of you and ask them what is going on and how can I make an allyship with them. I would not use force, because if you respond with force, others also respond the same way. Your aspirations are good, but the ways you are trying to achieve them are flawed. I would try to work to save both worlds, is the answer. I am not satisfied with a single world, not the one that I reside in currently, not the ones that you reside in there. But I wish to seek to protect my world from the outside influences such as myself towards these lands.
Like a dripple of water. The floor. Honor can feel it rise up a little bit, down, up, down, up. As the purple devil returns.
I assume she looks terrified in some ways.
She actually pushes Honora behind her. With blade in hand, she's putting herself in between Didi and Honora.
Oh, I'm being protected by her. The Monarch Queen.
The glassy butterfly wings do rustle up against Honora, which they don't feel great. Her carapace blade. You could do that. Or reaching into her hand, she sparks a pale, sickly green flame. And then credits around the Butterfly Nation. could make all your problems disappear just like that. One simple spark, and fire will engulf them all.
That is why you call her a devil. I suppose that's more chaos to my lawful nature. Kind of mumbles that last part under her breath.
She's dangerous.
She's offering what you desire, though. Why not take her up on that deal? As I'll move from behind her to like somewhere else to look at a different area. Somewhere completely unrelated to all of this mess.
Monarch Queen's
Magical.
confused.
Hmm?
The Monarch Queen's confused, trying to put together a reasoning behind what's happening here. It would be different if I did it.
The result is the same. Death. Destruction.
In the end, everyone dies.
That's what you want, isn't it?
Her hand, holding her blade, is shaking. She's now hesitant.
Oh, it feels so good, this story! As Honyor back is turned so she doesn't see her sadistic smile. Before she calms herself down a bit. Of realizing, nope, this is a bad situation. This is a horrible situation. She's experiencing tons of pain.
Then if it's by your hand, Dee throws a lighter, in which is caught. Monarch Queen knows what a lighter is. Flicking the lid, causing a green flame to appear at the tip of that metal box. Now it's all good. Now you can destroy any one of them. It won't even hurt. It'll be painless. Well, painless after a couple moments. Excruciating fire.
What?
Oh, Justin has the perfect timing to interrupt the flow. Oh, not Justin, but Justin's people he lives with.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. What with you? He throws the lighter on the ground.
She said, "Who are you?"
Said, screw you. And she starts crying, but still holds her very strong and poised position.
No, she hasn't broken yet. Well, I mean, there's empathy. I'll do an insight check. Would empathy... Oh, golly. Looking at her. Would empathy and, like, would reaching out a hand do her good?
Honora thinks that she doesn't actually hate the butterfly people. But it's probably safe to hold off. She's not very good at hiding her feelings.
Yep. I'll hold off. Let her process it. Let her get those feelings out. Oh.
Don't want them to die. I just want them to stop being a threat, and the only way to kill them. The only way is to kill them. If I kill them, then there's no way that they can come through the portal. If I kill them, I can save my people. Wasn't my fault. It's a pretty hard thing. Come to truth with something that you've been lying to yourself for some time. You didn't kill that monarch prince. They did, didn't they? Shut up. And you chose them over your love. Shut up.
Damn, this is juicy. Oh my goodness. Oh, she actually loved a bug. That's kind of weird, but like, okay, I'm not gonna judge.
But if we destroyed this little shelter, well, then you really would have blood on your hands, wouldn't you? Little monarch queen, the blood-soaked berserker, who is yet to take a single life.
Oh, that makes Honor happy to hear that.
He looks towards Honora.
More serious face.
I've chosen my path. Let me leave this as the door opens.
That's just so cruel. Who is it?
Tanku. Is there a mop in
Tanku?
here?
Oh my god, I don't know if Honor can stop herself from laughing. I mean, that comedic timing was perfect. Oh, that's so horrible! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh. No, guys, okay, no, this girl is horrified. Her face is probably, I look up at the person, I assume her face is horrified, of, like, just confusion.
A moment of utter bafflement as Dee Dee gets a mop for Hanku. Hanku grabs the mop, leaves.
The world isn't as mystical as you believe it to be.
Send me back. I've chosen what I want to do. Just send me back.
Oof, she's upset at me, isn't she? She's totally angry, isn't she?
Angry, but it does seem like she's taken what Honora said into consideration.
I am sincerely wishing for the best for you. And, well, if Dee Dee passes along any favors you ask for, I may follow suit. But I'm not going to be... well, killing many of the Atriums directly. It's your decision, and it's your choice.
What was your name again? Who are you?
My name is Honor Wayne. Because, you know, like, it's technically not Wayne, but kind of Wayne. She's gonna just take the Wayne name as the last name. I don't know if they have last names where they come from. I am a simple storyteller to some, but a high priestess who holds bonds together for others. Or at least I try to be. The only advice I can give to you is do not take your challenges in life alone. Find people you can trust and cherish them.
Simply looks in acknowledgement as Dee Dee taps her on the head with her wand and catches the falling being. An experience that must be akin to some sort of rainbow wall of different colors and fast movements and something unexplainable. As Dee Dee lightly places her in the wrong atrium.
Is that intentional that you did so?
Of course. But I wonder what the reason is.
Yep. Yep.
The room condenses once again. Honor finds herself moving to kind of avoid the shelves.
Well, if she is anything like me, she'll be slightly annoyed and frustrated, but see that it's for the best in the end. But perhaps that was too direct of a call out.
It's personally one of my favorites.
Oh.
However,
Oh, golly, fuck! I didn't expect to actually feel connected to Dee Dee like this.
I do also hope that she fails miserably. Not everything has a good end. But if she doesn't, then maybe she'll make something of herself. If I didn't have such dislike towards your strange Becky DeRye friend, I would be interested to see what value he sees in this little area. If his value is simply limited to size and relevance, or if it's linked to something more deeper. What is value if not something that one already has? It only makes it curious to what would be a value defined by the world around.
She really, like, they do not get along, do they?
Ooh.
Honya does have, like, the thought of wanting to ask her what her final order was, but feels like it's maybe too soon to ask. Not without her giving the information up.
It's late and you should get to bed. You wouldn't want the bed bugs to bite.
Thank you for letting me partake in this. Well, these worlds again.
Time you wish to experience something a little unorthodox. And they're always waiting for you. But
I'll have to.
if you do accidentally break a glass, don't worry. The glass is only an aesthetic.
Yep. Oh, I love Dee Dee. She's so wonderful. Oh my goodness, such a weird feller. Oh my goodness, this is just like Inception. Definitely. As she walks to her room, I feel like a few notes are still scribbled down as she has new materials to make a story on.
I do say we call that the end of today's episode.
Okay. Okay. The hell was that? Oh my goodness. Like, oh my goodness. This just normalized in my brain space. This is just like, I've been conditioned alongside Hornro to be like, yeah, this is normal. That was legit just like the hero's call moment of like, that was like somebody else's campaign. That was that small child's, that was that teenager's campaign of like freaking everything.
Little do we know, the Bros series is made up of Brogans, Project Venus, Darkwing, Mononoke, Holy Grail War, and the Terrarium.
And the terrarium. Oh my god, I can't wait until we play the terrarium game inside one of these places.
Low key, it actually sounds great.
Low-key, that sounds amazing. To play a game entirely like tiny without like, oh my goodness.
Yes, the Purple Devil. Have you ever?
We just play as different bugs who follow under the lead of the Monarch Queen.
If you survive, of course.
Ah, freaking hell. Just
Well,
that morality of like, Hornra has been slowly being crafted for this moment. It feels like that whole idea of like, yeah, no, like, freaking look at all this bullshit you've dealt with. It's all coming together. Oh.
Would you destroy another world if it meant saving your own?
No, Honyo wouldn't. Even though at one point she would have. Oh shit. At the beginning of this campaign, like, she absolutely was like uninterested in this world. She saw it as a stepping stool. This was her frickin' just like, ah. Oh, sorry. I'm reveling in my character. You're a freaking development. Gah.
Honestly,
Oh,
yeah. As weird as it is, these people who we never really got to see a whole lot of, there's a hella ton of growth in this game.
yeah.
So, for context, Dee Dee appeared back in Izori's reign, like bajillions of ever ago.
Literally
Dee Dee was
two campaigns ago. Two
arguably
long-lasting campaigns ago.
third, technically.
3? What?
I mean, Broguns. I mean, too long lasting, yeah. No, that works.
Yeah,
She appeared
2.5
in, like,
long-lasting campaigns.
if you were to compile all the events and things that she did on screen, this was not one of them. This is probably one of the coolest goddamn things ever.
The fact that, like, this is I think Honor is the first person to actually kind of understands Dee Dee's perspective. She is literally seeing what Dee Dee's doing and smiling along, playing the game.
We also have the introductory of, oh, pat, 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 pat. We also have the perspective. So Honra, of course, this is her actual game. This is her realistic. This is her first run, more or less. But it's like weirdly the old Garters. Like you have the team, the old Garters. That's Izori, Yazu. That's Dee Dee. All from different places that are just weirdly beautiful as just there. They narratively serve a great purpose. Yazu is the failed general from the timeline of Nononoke, which we didn't really pursue because the server blew up, but that's besides the point. Literally, he's Honor's emotional support general. Dee Dee is kind of like the weird reflection of showing Honra what she is and what she's becoming. Izori's the grounding to the past ideology, weirdly enough. Then you have the learning people, who I classify as Honra, Kiku, Tenka, and Makune. Of course, there's more, but there are kind of our cast. They're the PCs, quote unquote. As we all know that I definitely play one of them.
Yeah, you technically, Keimakune, Tenka, Kiku are all of your characters, and you play maybe some of them.
I play Kiku.
You play Kiku, okay. You were supposed to play Keimakune, but now you're playing Kiku?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, he's hard. But Keimakune is going through his own revelations. Kiku's going through the actually learning to heal as a human being who's lost his family more times than he can answer. It just, I don't know why. I don't know how. Well, I do know how. But things in this game are just nice. And
Freaking Hanku was just walking in looking for a mop. Oh, by the way, Hanku. Yeah.
it was a storage closet.
So, she would have saw the people, right? She would have saw, like, all the tiny people, right?
I would hope so.
How the fuck do I explain this to her? Oh yeah, hey Hanku. So, yeah, there's a lot of people hidden in these closets, and I'm okay with it. DD kidnapped some people from this world and put them in the atrium, and now they've had generations upon generations of kids, and they've been living with bugs and having tiny bug wars. Don't worry about it, it's all normal. It was all to teach me a lesson.
You're going to learn a lesson here. What's the lesson? Is definitely a lesson.
That the place we're on is one atrium, and you know we gotta treat it like how we want to treat it and stuff.
You know,
Huh.
the lesson is perspective. I guess that would be the short one-hand term. The lesson is perspective.
Yeah, perspective. Yeah, the perspective is a lesson of like. Freaking, I love that primitive nature of like, oh god, she's like, yeah, I get it. I understand where you're coming from, but no. You don't just threaten me. Like, it's the whole idea, because usually D&D campaigns take place on the other side of it, of like an adventurer being like, alright, God, listen up. Do this for me because I need to save my people. This is like a fun, actual perspective of deities. This is the whole concept of Honra was essentially in that she wasn't a god. She didn't think of herself as a god. But why would the gods think of themselves as gods? Unless there was a single person watching over it? Honra knew that anyone could walk by and disturb it. She wasn't playing into the fact. She was just, you know, more powerful. She had the strength to do these things.
At any time, Hanku could have gotten a mop and accidentally slipped something into a terrarium. At any time, a god could have stumbled across one of these places.
Yeah, and like, at any time this building could be bombed. And all of these things would be lost with no explanation, no understanding, no reasoning. Some might be able to survive and be put elsewhere in new atriums. Like, the whole idea is, oh my golly.
Didi's lesson is perspective.
Yeah.
Azu's
like-
lesson is kind of like self-understanding and growth.
Oh, I
We're gonna
love
learn
it.
that we're gonna learn that we're in a terrarium right now, and Didi's the one who made the holy grail.
I mean, that could be the case.
The bugs are developing magic.
Yeah, and it was probably a whole different magic system. This is why I love this campaign. Oh. Alright. Golly. Alright, we got end, right? Okay.
We gotta end.
I hope y'all enjoyed this as much as I did. Because, gah! Bug Magic Pokemon movies? What? Oh, Bug Magic Pokemon moves. Yes, Bug Magic Pokemon moves. That sounds about right.
Bug type.
Just because I'm going to be talking with Justin afterwards, I'm not going to raid at anybody because I can't really have anyone to raid. I really looked, there's no one really to raid that I can, like, feel comfortable just being like, raid and leave. So I'm just going to end stream. There is essentially going to be the Apocrypha game is still in its works. It's being made. It's going to be, the players are hopefully going to be finalized on Wednesday. So if you're interested in the Apocrypha game, go check out the Discord, react with Butter, and it's pretty much just testing this new system and a more strategically based thing. I think that's the main PSA. Monday I should be talking to somebody else. I'm still waiting responses from Fishwolf. As nobody else has really gotten this, but that's fine. Thanks for watching. Sayonara, and have a good night. I'm letting just a bit of empty air so people don't miss the outro because it's a bit of a delay.